Hello, chat. I'm here. And I'm square. And I'm sending a test message to see if Lex is censoring me or not. It appears that 1987 has happened. Alright, send another test message. Okay, that one worked. Alright. So we're back with more FE4. More Chapter 4 of FE4. Well, we were. Controller does not appear to be working. Huh. Let's see if this works. Okay, we got it. So, now it's time for the epic murder cutscenes. And also preps, like 4 chapters worth of, 4 turns worth of preps. So, Beowulf is gonna have to buy the... I think Beowulf is gonna buy the wing clipper. I missed the last stream. Did anything notable happen? Nisha died. Nisha died. Or Noish, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And we got almost all of our marriages. The sole exception is, I think Claude and Erin are not married yet. No, Claude and Erin are married. Is it Lewyn and Tailtu are married? Oh, Brigid and Du, right? Yeah, Brigid and Du are still not married yet. Alright, I think what we do now, Beowulf comes out here. We warp him up north. My blonde king with no personality. It's okay, this just means that he won't die in the Valhalla massacre. But basically nothing else of note happened. Like, the first castle of Chapter 4 is kind of boring. I mean, Beowulf died, but we revived him. We've used Valkyrie twice so far. Oh, we got crit on Erin's javelin. That's pretty cool, I think. And we're building up crit on the wind sword also. Ah, Duke Andre, I presume. You certainly took your time getting here. And oh, how magnificent. So this is Yngvi's renowned Bow Knight Legion. Alas, my father is dead, and my sister a fugitive among the traitors. This leaves me and me alone as the Duke of Yngvi and the leader of our legion. Against the might of the Bergen Ritter, these winged ponies stand no chance at all. Now sit back and watch them drop like flies. Andre and his fuck-ass Bob should have left the Merc dead. I mean, Beowulf is just a better unit at this point in the game. I think he's worse overall because of availability, but I think Beowulf's more valuable right now to my army than Nisha was. I'm just eating some crackers. If you hear noises, like, look, we're in cutscene territory right now, right? I'm just eating crackers. I think it's so silly that the Pegasuses get the pirate music. I think it's funny how Debathra got to Heroes Art over Pamela, despite her having more impact on the player. Well, you know what's even funnier? You know who doesn't have a Heroes? Isn't in Heroes? Fucking Finn! Fucking Finn isn't in Heroes! I found that out because I'm using Heroes Art for the thumbnails, and I was like, oh, I want to make one for Finn for Chapter 7, because Finn will be a big deal in Chapter 7. Fucking Finn doesn't have any art! Are you goddamn kidding me, Heroes? Look, it's a terrible gacha game, so, like, I'm not playing it myself, but this is my call to action. This is my call to action. If you fucking play Heroes or whatever, choose your Heroes, Legends number 8, and vote for Finn 5 times. That's my call to action. We need to get Finn in Heroes. He's a Grail unit? I have no idea what the fuck that means. I'm sorry, I know you're not to blame, it must be done. We need to vote Stefan 5 times? Not that fuck-ass Swordsmaster! Not that fuck-ass Swordsmaster! It's been a while, Pamela. I've known for years, ever since we trained side by side and become knights. But not once did I suspect we would ever sometimes find our times as enemies. Anahad. Only you would be so foolish as to insist on the following your queen to her inevitable grave. Why should I complain, though? After all, once you're out of the way, that leaves me as the greatest knight of Celeste. The only fool here is you, Pamela. No, it's too late to change your mind. You're set on your fate? Very well. All I can do is give you a last honorable duel befitting a Celestian knight. Heh. Saracine as ever, aren't you? Saccharine as ever, aren't you? He may be a fuck-ass Swordmaster, but he's our fuck-ass Swordmaster. He's a secret unit who's not even, like, good. Oh, Sigurd is actually kind of low on gold, all things considered. Let's fix the Valkyrie staff. But before any of you get excited, I'm not going to be, reviving Nisha. I'm fixing it for Gen 2. Who needs healing? You need healing. Maria is my vote for the fakest archetype so far. Only so far, though. You don't know how fucking deep the depths of the archetype fandom wiki goes. Also, if you think the fandom wiki has fake archetypes, can I introduce you to fucking TV tropes? The TV tropes page on Fire Emblem archetypes separates the Navarre archetype into Navarre and Ayra. So we get 2 fake archetypes for the price of 1. Is Shiva the most forgettable edgy swordmaster? Probably, which is ironic since he's the OG. Yeah, everyone calls it Navarre, but like... Shiva was the first one who's actually a Myrmidon. Navarre's start with killing edges, Ayra's don't. No, you wish that was the division. That would at least, like, have a fake credibility. It's gender. It's literally gender. They say that Ayras are when a Navarre is female. Which is like the fucking movement to divide Est and Nino based on whether or not they're a magical or physical unit. Navarre is an actual archetype. Define it. And if you can't define it in a way that is not just class plus inventory, then I don't think it's an archetype. But I do have a Navarre video coming out soon. The Maria archetype says most of them are troubadours. That's why Shadow Dragon Face Maria is a troubadour. She's actually a troubadour because of Cypher. That's a Cypher art reference. Brooding sword user? Then why isn't Raven then why does it count Raven? Why are we not counting Raven? Because not a single person, I asked people to list everyone who's a Navarre, and not a single person listed Raven. But so many people listed Joshua and Guy, who are not brooding sword users. They're not brooding at all. And Lon Q, who's a fucking parody of Navarre's Code of Honor. The Navarre archetype is a high-speed sword unit who has a killing edge and a relationship with the hero. So Navarre himself doesn't qualify then? Because what healer does Navarre have an archetype with? It's not Lena. Unless we're counting the anime? Like, if we're talking about the games, there have been 4 iterations of Navarre, and he has not had a relationship with a healer in a single one of them. And high-speed sword unit is just the class Myrmidon. I find it very funny that the wiki says this is a Myrmidon that specializes in speed and skill, as if that is not just what the Myrmidon class specializes in. It'd be like saying, you know, this is a Pegasus Knight who with low defense. Daring today, aren't you? Myrmidon recruited on map by someone who isn't the main lord. Then why does everyone say Ayra is one? Sigurd's not the main lord anymore? Oh, we're pulled up the wiki now for the Sonic Linda moments. Yeah. Here, I got nothing to do while we're watching this cutscene. FE archetypes. I'll pull up both of these. The TV tropes one and the fandom wiki page. Oh my god, the fandom wiki has a fucking Pern archetype. Or not fandom wiki, sorry, TV tropes has a Pern archetype. TV Tropes is obsessed with splitting these archetypes based on gender. The Arlen archetype? An enemy sword unit joins relatively early, killing edge in their inventory. But that's just class plus inventory. Like, okay, here's a question for all of you Navarre is real because killing edge believers, right? Do you believe in the Barst archetype? Because Barst is an axe fighter who starts with a hand axe. And there are quite a few axe fighters who start with hand axes in the franchise. Is that enough to qualify as an archetype? Because I don't think it is. The Able archetype. Early Cavalier with a javelin in their starting inventory. The Castor archetype. Not Castor, sorry. Gordon archetype. Early Archer with a steel bow in their inventory. Imagine entering the stream and the first thing you hear is the Pern archetype. I would cry. That's just placing items as game design. I also think that a Myrmidon having a killing edge is a natural choice because Myrmidons are a crit-focused class, right? Swordmaster frequently gets crit bonuses. In the games that give bonuses based on classes, Swordmaster is the one that most consistently has critical bonuses. Even Shadow Dragon gives a 5% crit bonus to Swordmaster, or I think it's 10% to Swordmasters. I would say Swordmaster crit is even more ubiquitous than Berserker crit. Titania is not a Jagan because she doesn't have a Silver Lance logic. Yeah. They showcase the features, that's all. Theoretically possible for a nod to actually kill Pamela and Andre's armies in the game Softlocks. I actually knew that. Three Houses Armory Merchant is a Navarre because he has a killing edge in his inventory. Yo, epic. Epic gaming moment. Shadow Dragon and New Mystery give plus 10 crit to Berserkers, 5 hit and crit to Snipers, and 10 avoid to Swordmasters. Damn. Fucking fake gamer exposed. Fake gamer exposed. My point still stands. I do think that Swordmasters are more associated with crits than any other class. And so it makes sense for Myrmidons to start out with the killing edge. But I got the FE11 and I guess 12 also, if we want to count New Mystery as a real game as opposed to a torture experiment. Bonus is wrong. I thought it was Snipers that got the avoid for some reason. The bonuses in FE11 are so ridiculous. Like, I don't know why they thought 5 and 10. I already think the 15 crit from GBA is pretty meaningless. I don't know why in Shadow Dragon they were like, let's nerf that. And also make it specific to one class. It's just a little bit silly-pilled. But that's just a game theory. Lewyn's uncle has an implied kid with minor Forsetti blood who shows up with Tornado. I just found the Garen and Edelgard are Rudolph archetypes. New Mystery is more of a torture experiment than Shadow Dragon. Yes, because it's based on FE3. Like, at least Shadow Dragon's based on FE1, a game that was already fun to begin with. And I think that FE11 is fun. I do genuinely like it. Yo, let's pull up more TV Tropes archetypes. The Arlet, oh my god. TV Tropes has the Merrick archetype, an optimist who uses pride and power of magic, and the Arlen archetype, A socially distant bookworm who values their studies. Also, I love the fucking Wendell archetype, a mid-game sage. Fucking Wendell, chapter 5. People love to name the archetypes after FE1 units. I actually think that there's some archetypes that would make more sense if they weren't named after FE1 units. Case in point, Navarre. I think the Navarre archetype, while I am, like, leaning on the side of it being fake, I'm doing a Navarre video right now, and the more I look into it, the more I'm like, oh, this thing I believed in just isn't real. But I think that it would have more grounding and more, like, credibility to it if we called it the Shiva archetype. Because Navarre isn't actually, like, edgy or whatever. At least not in the same way Shiva is. Navarre has, like, a code of honor, is his whole thing. And Long Q, the fact people say Joshua, Long Q, and Guy are edgy is so funny to me. Guy is just fucking autistic. He's not edgy. Sorry, Giuseppe, whatever. Now I've pronounced it both ways, everyone could get mad at me. It's the Samto archetype because Samto created edgy Navarre. But Samto isn't edgy either. Samto pretends to be edgy while he's disguised, but as soon as he gets caught out as not disguised, he's like a silly goofball. Pamela, please don't dodge tank. Or, not Pamela, Ananad. Thank you! Holy shit, she could have soft-blocked me there. Erin is Prince Lewyn. It's only called Navarre because the FE community must go to FE1. Yeah, that's also where the Maria thing came from. Like, people saying the horse healer is Maria. I don't think class equals archetype anyway, but if you're of the belief that it is, like, fucking call it Ethlyn instead of Maria. Anahad has been killed? How could this happen? I'm so sorry, Anahad. Forgive me. Is my fucking controller not working again? What the heck? Oh my god. What? It literally just happened on the menu, too. Hang on, I'll make a save state. I don't know what is going on with my controller. What? Anahad's dead? You're joking. Huh? Anahad was... No, this can't be happening. How could anyone have killed her? It can't be. Alright, so now they're gonna capture the fortress. I'm willing to call Maria a real archetype because she's a little sister healer. Is it just her and Mist? Am I missing someone? I guess Lissa. And, like, the Fates Royals. I don't know, I think that just comes from the logical choice of, like, if you're gonna make a younger character into a playable unit, what role do they end up in? Oh, well, the healing role. I don't really think there's a reason the Cypher card has that one Elise card that shows all of them on it. I don't think that makes it an archetype, that's a class. Like, again, I don't think just being in a class or a specific utility role makes one into an archetype, because it's a staple of the genre. You know, it's why these things like, you know, the fucking Lena archetype, Julian archetype, etc. If you put a healer in your game, which you probably do because it's an SRPG, then you're gonna get a healer early on, right? It's joint art between Elise and Sakura. But, like, they're parallels of each other because of the way Fates is set up. Like, the structure of the game is the Nor and Hoshido's parallels. I don't think that that's an archetype. It's not something that you would not like. It's a standard part of the fantasy setting and the RPG genre. Heh, I expected so much more from Celeste's famous Pegasus Knights. No matter, I suppose we might as well bring down the capital while we're here. Pamela, your unit will cross the mountains. Besiege and capture Tafa immediately. Very well. It's not just Elise and Sakura, it's every little sister healer. So, Maria, Mist, and Lissa as well. Again, that doesn't feel like an archetype. That's just... Like, think about it this way. If you're going to have a younger sister be playable, what role are they naturally going to fall into? Oh, well, they're not going to be a fucking hardened warrior. Let's make them a healer. Like, that isn't a FE archetype style thing. That's just the natural position that we end up in through the storytelling structure. They're clearly wyverns. Haven't you played Conquest? They should more often do what Lissa does in Warriors and let them carry big axes. I mean, that's just because that's the promoted class, though, from Awakening. And also because Warriors, like, you need to have a weapon to be playable in Warriors. That's also why Sakura has bows, right? Because the promoted class there. The way I see FE and archetypes is it's the same reason why every lord has blue hair. But do we call lords the Marth archetype? Or do we just call them lords because they fulfill a necessary role in the story? The capital's under our control. Good. Mission accomplished. We ride for Grand Velas once. Bye, Andre. We'll see you next chapter. Heh. At long last, the capital is mine and mine alone. Now I want a wind mage unit deployed south of Celeste River. Fortify our defensive line there. Furthermore, Donovan, you and your axemen occupy the capital and maintain its defenses. But don't even think about killing the queen. We can't waste a hostage of such high value. Got it, sir. There are a good number of people that call them Marths. Those people are stupid then, and I'm not afraid to say it. That is the stupidest fucking, like, let's just insert jargon for absolutely no reason, just to make any conversation about our game as confusing and insulated and gate-kept as fucking possible. I'm sorry, referring to the lords as the Marth archetype? Fuck off with that nonsense, unironically. Like, we do not need to add more stupid-ass jargon to make this community even less approachable than it is. Hurry! You need to flee as fast as you can. But your highness! I'll be okay. Look after yourselves, please. People, please! The queen wants us to run, so come on, run! It's the same reason that, like, defining archetypes based on other archetypes is the most navel-gazing exercise the fandom regularly participates in. Oh, a Navarre archetype has relationships with the Lena archetype, the Ogma archetype, and the Julian archetype? Fuck all the way off with that. Huh? Where the hell are the townsfolk? Oh, they scampered, didn't they? Damn it all! They took the fun out of this. Alright, boys, it's up to you now. Get out there and butcher those little pigs. No survivors, you understand? No, please stop! My civilians are innocent as they come! It matters not what happens to me, but please don't harm my people. I don't think so. You've been screwing up Lord Dakar's will long enough, Missy. About time you learn your lesson. Ah! Are you Ice Rider farming again? Not on purpose. I don't really think this will make a video. Although if it does, it'd be very funny to include this part in it. Heh. It appears leaving this to Donovan was a good idea after all. Well now, it's been a long time since we've had such a darling villainy anywhere. It's almost enough to turn a weaker stomach. Coming from someone like you, willing to kill anyone, anywhere, anytime, so long as you're handsomely paid, that's quite a claim. High praise indeed if it's from the lips of the infamous Lamia the Infernal. Oh, quite the flatterer, aren't you? Now where do we begin with our mayhem? For now, your group will guard the castle. Be ready to roll out your traditional welcome in case of Sigurd's thugs try causing us grief. Guard duty, really? Where's the fun in that? No matter, it's your money. Oi, ladies, listen up. We're on guard duty. Stick to the castle and pick off the enemy's leftovers if they come. Oh, right, and then we have you, the new Midir mage. Can we probably can't kill you with the wind sword, can we? 25 minus 8? That is... 7 to... Ooh, we're close. Unfortunately, we can't canto back either. Ooh, maybe if we... Okay. I'm testing something. Okay, if you go here... Oh, whoop! Let's just quickly fix that problem. I guess you go here, yeah? And then we dance you. Archetypes and tropes are kind of the same hat. Then again, Fire Emblem knows when it's self-referential. I mean, so an archetype, I actually had this conversation in my Discord a little bit ago. Yeah, now we can go physical, okay. And that is gonna be a kill. Okay, so I had this conversation in my Discord a little bit ago, so I can pull up the definition, but an archetype... Well, never mind. Never freaking mind. I guess we do this instead. Wow, my units, suck right now. Just accuracy issues out the wazookie. Alright, so those civilians are deadzos to the fucking Midir guys, which is unfortunate. Or Blizzard, not Midir, whatever. Same difference. But an archetype is just like a repeated pattern, right? Arden gets locked out of the rest of the map. Not necessarily. I can warp him to the castle once I conquer him. The Blizzard Mages are more annoying than bolting ones. Yeah, don't they have, like, the best avoid and accuracy or whatever? Arden cannot get through the mountains. You need to pair either Azel or Edain to rescue him or use the warp. Well, that's what I was saying, is you just warp him to Celeste Castle once you conquer it. Dodge? Damn. Civilian failed me. Huh. So the Syrian army's finally coming. Good. It's about time I give those damn rebels the axe. Boys, get off your sorry hides. Guard the castle no matter what. Don't let him get anywhere near it. Alright, can I kill them this time? I'm pairing Claude with Lachesis on my next playthrough. I would not recommend that. It's not worth it just to get B-stabs on Nana. Like, that's really bad. That's really bad. Because, like, what meaningful... What meaningful benefit are you getting from Nana getting B-stabs? I guess she can wield Physic? Ah, are you here to help me? I couldn't possibly thank you enough. Nana gets Physic, Restore, and Recover, but Leaf already gets all of that. Yeah, I guess if you, like, are purely putting Leaf on Rescue Bot duty, but I don't think that's, like, the wisest use of our time with him. Like, I think he's a good Rescue Bot, but I don't think he needs to spam Rescue every turn outside of specifically an LTC context, and an LTC context doesn't have time to do Lachesis, Claude. It also screws over Dermot, so it's not even good in a ranked context, because you would much prefer to have Dermot's combat be good in ranked, so that he's, like, easier to train. Pretty much any pairing with Sylvia and Arden are pretty doomed. What do you mean? Just because, like, Arden doesn't really give good stats? In terms of worst pairings. I mean, I think Arden is, like, outclassed by Lex, obviously. If we're looking for worst pairings, though, like, it's gotta be Tailtu and any physical dad, right? Well, what are we defining as worst pairings? Because are we including pairings that, like, no reasonable person would go for? Because, like, I don't think anyone would intentionally go for, like, Nisha Tailtu, right? But, like, that's a pretty fucking bad pairing. Because it's a physical dad, and the skill he passes, critical, is basically worthless on your Wrath units. I've heard funny results with Tailtu Lex with physical sword Arthur. The problem with that is you do not get swords until you promote. So it becomes like the worst training project until you promote. And then sure, you can do physical sword vintage wrath stuff with Arthur and it's alright. But even with Paragon, just getting him to promotion while he's just not a functional person is, I think too much of a hassle. If you do Lex Arthur, going physical is the way to go, but going physical doesn't save Lex Arthur, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't suddenly make it a good, pairing. Is Jamka Aranis the worst pairing for Sed because it kills his magic? I would say any physical dad is, like, pretty bad for Sed. Because the thing is that Sed... Sed does not actually care about his magic for combat. He cares about it for staff utility, for being able to click the funny silence button. He can still do really good combat with just the lightning tome with bad magic, which is why I don't really think, what? What just happened? Why is Sylvia on the same square as a green unit, and it's not the square she ended her turn in? Okay, that appears to have just been a visual bug. Is this another new bug? One of the main appeals of this translation is the bug fixes. Ayra's kids tend to be super cracked no matter what, since they get so many skills. I mean, I'll do a unit review of them once we get to them, but I don't actually think Ayra's kids are particularly cracked. I don't even think their combat is particularly good. Like, obviously the biggest thing that holds them back is just being footlocked in FE4. But I think their combat is, like, not especially stellar either. Azel Ayra sounds pretty bad. Yeah, the meme is like magical swords Ulster, but like it is not good. You know, I call it a meme for a reason. Who's worse, Nisha Arthur or Ahmed? I mean, probably Nisha Arthur, but, like, that's an unfair comparison, because, again, why are we giving the physical dad to the magical kids, right? This isn't even a Lana or Sed situation where people, like, cope that, oh, let's screw over the magical kid in order to bolster the physical kid, because Arthur and Tinny are both magical kids. If they ever remake FE4, they should make it so you play FE5 between Gen 1 and Gen 2. I think that's an awful idea. And here's why I think that's an awful idea. Mechanically, there's two reasons, actually. Three, actually, three. First is that mechanically, FE4 and FE5 are incredibly different from each other. FE5 follows a more small-scale conflict, and as such focuses on having a ton of units, deploying specific ones, making use of the things like capture, escape, all that sort of stuff. Whereas FE4 is meant to be more large-scale and broad. You deploy your entire army. Every chapter is very long, and there's meaningful time skips in between every chapter. So, it feels like a full campaign, a full war campaign, right? Moreover, the story of Thracia is actually incompatible with the story of FE4. There would have to be some rewrites if you wanted to make Thracia canon. Not only because, like, it's possible to get optional pairings in FE4 that would not be reflected in Thracia, but because there are events and in FE5 that overlap with the timeline of FE4, but contrast with what's supposed to be happening in FE4. The biggest sort of highlight of them is in Thracia at one point, Leif's army joins up with Selif's army, and then they split up and they go to like two separate places for what they're going to conquer. Meanwhile, in FE4, when Leif joins up with Selif, first off, he doesn't have an army, but they also don't, they split up, but they rejoin, as opposed to splitting up, to conquer different places. They split up specifically to defend two different places, and then they rejoin and conquer the two different places on their own. Dormant also goes with Leif's army in Thracia, but stays with Selif's army in FE4. And the Beowulf situation contrasts the way that pairings work in FE4. Because in FE5, it's implied that one of Lachesis' kids is fathered by Beowulf and the other one is fathered by Finn. But that is just not a possibility within the mechanics of FE4. So even if you wanted to make specific pairings, like, be forced canon, right? It wouldn't work. Unless you completely changed how Lachesis' kids work. But I also think the pacing of the story getting interrupted, this like big long campaign, getting interrupted to show us a more small scale story that lasts the same amount of time as the full story would be terrible, terrible storytelling. Like, this is meant to be a generational story, and so the reason there's these big time skips is it shows you, like, it's showing you the important parts, not the small in-between that's less important. All the mistakes that Sigurd, Eldigan, and Quan make, and then their three children addressing and fixing those same mistakes. I think is... Yeah, it's not like the most complex story out there, but I think it really works, and I think it would be really undercut if instead of jumping immediately from Sigurd's mistakes, right, his biggest final mistake, to Selif starting to set out and fix them, we instead faff around with Leif running away for forever and a half. Because then we would also have to jump back in time. Because Chapter 6 of Fire Emblem 4 takes place simultaneously to... Or no, it takes place before the beginning of Thracia. And then the beginning of Thracia takes place during the time skip in between 6 and 7. And the second half of Thracia takes place during Chapter 7 and during Chapter 8. I just don't think it would work. But also, mechanically, the games just are very, very different from each other. The way that trading works, the way that... I I mean, the way that pursuit works, the way that the pairing system works, obviously. Given the rewrite they did for FE15, I think nothing is sacred to them, but fair enough. I mean, I think that there's a difference between adding some new characters and recontextualizing things like FE15 did, and completely upending not only the factual, like, plot events, but the overall theming of the story as well. Do you not? Oh, you're Tailtu. You're Edain. And you can physic up Lachesis. I'm still shocked that FE1, 2, and 3 aren't connected because the stories all combine perfectly. They are. They are. They chronologically... What do you mean by they're not connected? Do you mean like they weren't sold as a single game? Because, like, FE3 is a direct sequel to FE1, and FE2 is, like, a side story. So I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. I'm talking about being sold as one whole game. But it's sequels. Like, do you not think that there should be sequels? I mean, putting aside, like, the mechanical issues of the NES storage, just not having enough for a campaign that long, like, sequels are a fairly standard thing. Not only that, but, like, in order to mechanically work, they kind of, like, had to be separate because, like, otherwise you get the weird bloat that Radiant Dawn was, where the campaign is so long that then your level gets so high and it becomes, like, weird and meaningless. FE3 couldn't even have the entirety of Book 1. That's true, but I actually like that because a lot of the chapters it cut out are, like, bad fluff chapters. FE4 Remake could do the Nintendo Detective Club remake route, made at the same time but sold separately. I don't know what that means. FE3 fit almost all of FE1 and FE3 together. I mean, so they included a remake of FE1 that cut out a lot of the fluff, but, like, that doesn't mean that they can fit 3 games on a single NES cartridge, but also just mechanically, how would that work? Because if we have a continuous campaign, like, are we just randomly de-leveling people partway through the campaign? I just don't understand. What do we have against the idea of sequels? I do think that, like, you know, in film, it's annoying just how much, like, modern film stuff is just, everything has to be a sequel, remake, reboot stuff. But saying, like, they should have just made the whole thing a single story, like, retroactively now that there's sequels, it just feels really weird to me. I'm just confused by the sentiment, honestly. More than anything. Are people arguing for combined remake for FE9 and 10? Not that I've seen, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think people just, like... I mean, again, I think combining 9 and 10, yeah, they have some mechanical similarities. But I do not think enough to, like, justify a single game that takes the entire campaign. And I also think, like, why do we want a full campaign that lasts, like, 80 hours? And what are we mechanically doing about the fact that, like, do we add tier 4 to make room for just how high everyone's level needs to be now? They're gonna make 6 and 7 remake. You know they're gonna add Lynn's kid as an OC. I mean, maybe. I don't really know what the point of that would be, but maybe. Like, Lynn is such a popular character that I think if they remade 6, they would have some reference to her. And I don't think they... Because a lot of people say, like, oh, Sue should canonically be Lynn's kid because of, like, Wrath or whatever. But I don't think that is a good solution. Because then it opens up, like, the whole shipping war thing, right? Because, like, Lynn Hector is a very popular ship. Well, I guess that's the other thing is, like, because Lilina exists... and Roy exists, and both of them are potentially Lynn's kids. Like, do they want to fucking make one of the ships in the shipping war canon? I wouldn't. Because imagine how people would react. Imagine how the Elliewood Lynn shippers would react when they learn that Hector Lynn is canon because it's the better ship. I'm sorry if you had to learn that the hard way, but it is. But, like, on a serious note, no, like, if a big part of the appeal is the ships, like, the reason they went with male Robin, you know, as much as we like to joke, like, oh, well, they made them gay, I think that the intention was they wanted to avoid any of the ships, right? And they just don't really think of the gay ships as, like, valid because, you know, Nintendo. So, like, the reason that in Engage, it's male Robin... So, fun fact, if you let these green civilians just, like, get to the home castle, they'll escape and you won't get experience. Which I think is very funny. The canon ship was supposed to be Crom Sumi and they got a lot of backlash. I think that that's canon in the same way that FE4 pairings are canon. In that, like, it's more canon, but it's not definitively canon, if you get what I mean. Well, I don't think they have a singular canon ship for any Awakening characters. They have, like, the favored ones, right? That Ellery went over in the video. But I think that's different from, like, a singular canon. Midir, please. Thank you. 36? Impossible. We paid for him to get brought back to life, and then Beowulf has 36 hit. What a loser. Yeah, he might be dead again. God, you're too strong. I feel like the FE4 canon class has the same dad as the corresponding child. I don't think that's true, though. Because, like, that would make Do the canon parent of Patty. And they do not have a single conversation to support that. I think the canon ones are the ones that have events supporting them. Azel, Claude, Lester, and Jamka are the potential canon pairings for Edain. And you can do non-canon ones, but they give you 4 potential, you know, more canon ones, right? Ayra married Arden confirmed. Wait. Don't scare me like that. Don't scare me like that. Your Highness, I'm so glad you're unharmed. My sincerest apologies for not coming to your aid sooner. It's fine, Lord Sigurd. That you've made it here is more than enough. I'm sorry I couldn't do more. Too many people have died, and I could only stand by and watch. I can't bear it. And Anahad. Don't worry, Your Highness. Anahad's killers will die this day by my hand. Declare's crimes are beyond forgiveness. I promise you he will not escape me. With this in mind, I humbly request your authorization to assault Zaxxon Castle. Lord Declare's pretty petty greed has condemned my people to utter agony long enough. He's a murderer, nothing more, nothing less. You may visit justice upon him, Lord Sigurd. Understood. I'll mobilize my army to capture Zaxxon immediately. For now, Your Highness, please get some rest. Do take care of yourself, Lord Sigurd. As soon as Zaxxon is under your control, I'll be coming by for a word with you. Sorry for not helping. There was this strange barrier blocking us until we took the northern castle. Oh, you're here to save me? Thank you so much. Ah, you're here to help me? I couldn't possibly thank you enough. Time to kill Hilda's twin. Y'all. So now they start moving, right? Why did they put the healer out front? Oh, you must be joking. Those accursed rebels have already recaptured Celeste? What in blazes is Donovan even doing out there? Blast, we have no choice. Instruct Libya to move out and attack the castle. They must not be allowed near my castle. Guess what? Chicken butt? They're a healer, but... The quote-unquote canon pairings for Awaken aren't technically... Odin as Robin Kid isn't bad. Some reason Lamia is one of the few people that killed Sigurd for me. Doesn't she have, like, a ridiculous loadout? She's got, like, the Miracle Sword and Nihil or something? I remember this squad is actually very threatening. There's, like, they have Brave Swords or something, right? What's your opinion on the translation so far? We encountered another glitch this stream, so, you know, that's my opinion right now. We're at like 5 glitches, and one of them has like legitimately forced me to reset, so. Is it the sleep sword? Oh, I think one of them does have a sleep sword. I think you're right. I think you're right. One of them does have a sleep sword. The Pegasus Knights don't want to touch the Wing Clipper. They have the Javelin. They could just kill Beowulf without risking counter, but honestly, that's fine with me that they didn't. Wow, even something so tiny that's Gakare panicking? No matter, let's go, ladies. We've got quite the feast ahead of us. I have to check. I think some of them have Brave Swords, but maybe it's Brave Bows? This squad is really terrifying. I remember that much. I think this is the portion of Gen 1 that gave me the most trouble in 0% growths. This is a stacked-ass squad. Okay, so we have Killer Bow, Silver Blade, Sleep Edge, Brave Sword. So it's both Sleep Edge and Brave Sword. You were both right. And then El Thunder. So firstly... Oh, the fact that we could just die to a crit. But I think we bait the first one. Okay, so it's right above that little, like, bump here. We go here. Equip the Wind Sword. 15 kills on it, not bad. We're not gonna get it crit by Gen 2, but, like, we'll get it pretty good, I think. You can reach there. Okay, so we will go here. I know past games had bosses, but I don't recall average enemy units. What do the sleep weapons do? If you get hit by the sleep weapon, you have a chance of getting put to sleep in this game. I believe it's RNG in this game. I know Berserk Sword is RNG, so I assume the sleep sword is as well. Mother, you're not hurt, are you? When I heard that Celeste had fallen, I was pretty worried there. Thank you so much for coming, Lewyn. Perhaps at last you've matured into a young man who honors his promises. Perhaps Lord Sigurd has had quite the positive influence on you after all. Oh, come on, Mother. You don't need to act like I'm still a child. Besides, Sigurd is hardly that much older than I am. Dear, compared to the likes of Lord Sigurd, you may as well be a screaming infant. You've still much to learn from him, and quickly. Nothing would be more reassuring than having a son as his fine by my side, especially now that Anahid is... Oh, Anahid. I should have been the one to die out there, not her. If only I'd gotten here sooner. Mother, I'll be here to protect you from now on. I won't let Anahid's death go to waste. I swear I will never ever leave you again. Oh, Lewyn, I never thought you were capable of saying anything so kind. But your word is more than enough. For now, at least, I believe you should remain at Lord Sigurd's side. He has a greater need of your strength. But if I do that, what about you? There's nothing to worry about, Lewyn. You are the heir of the Wind Crusader. Your place is with the rest of the world, to lead it and guide it on its true path. The time has come for me to confer upon you your true birthright. Exalted Wind Tome Forseti. Here, Lewyn, it's yours. So this is the royal family's ancestral tome. The Book of Forseti. Oh, this power. What's this warmth? Lewyn, never forget, the Wind Crusader flows at the gentlest breeze. His way is to guide all people of the world on the path to peace. Hate and violence is never his answer. Yes, of course. I don't think I could live my life any other way. Indeed, perhaps you truly are a child of the wind. Lewyn, it's time for you to go. Take care out there, and don't do anything too rash. Mother. Go on, for heaven's sake, go! Okay, Mother, please take care of yourself. Oh, Lewyn. And now we have Forseti Spaghetti. You must abandon your kids, Lewyn. Hey, that's not him, though. That's the Wind Crusader. I guess spoilers. But the Lewyn we see in Gen 2 is not actually Lewyn. He's dead. He's getting bravely defaulted. His corpse is getting puppeteered. Alright, and then we have this half to go for. Are Finn and Brigid the only Gen 1 survivors? Edain is also confirmed to survive, and Tailtu is confirmed to survive. Tailtu dies during the time skip. I think she commits suicide, actually. But I might be wrong about that. Violence is never the answer. Answer for the most broken tome. But yeah, Edain is confirmed to survive. Brigid is confirmed to survive. Finn is confirmed to survive. And, Lewyn is confirmed to die, but we're misled into believing he's confirmed to survive initially. So now this portion is basically taken care of. I was hoping to get more javelin kills with Erin, but I only got one because they didn't want to attack her. And I don't think we'll be able to get any more with her either. Erinus lives. Oh, right, Erin is confirmed to survive, right? Doesn't Erin become, like, the queen of Celeste? Or is that only... That's only if she marries Lewyn. But she survives either way, I'm pretty sure. You're right. I don't see anything about Tailtu committing suicide on the wiki. Does she, like... So she gets, like, abused by the rest of Frege. And then I think it's implied she commits suicide, but I might be misremembering. She gets captured by Bloom and then tortured and abused to death. I guess we'll see when we get there. I don't think I could avoid that many meteors. Simply a difference in skill. Shh, don't tell Kaga. No one tell Kaga. I forgot her name, but Edain is another survivor. Yeah, I said that earlier, I think. She's like, actually, she's the one who raises, Seliph and the Chapter 1 squad. Or Chapter 6 squad. Okay, so right here by this lip. Here. Hey Sigurd, could I have a word? Oh, Lewyn, I'm sorry about what happened to Anna. I had no idea Yingvi's Bow Knights would get involved in this mess. No, it's not your fault, just mine. I haven't been thinking right lately. I should have been here all along, looking after mother and country, but nope, I just ran away. That's why Anna had died. She just took my place in all this. There's no need to blame yourself. The best you can do now is care for the queen and ensure that Anna didn't die in vain. Yeah, I know. No use in pointing out the obvious, huh? Very well. Oh, Lewyn, before I forget, don't forget to go see your mother at the capital as soon as possible. She said it's of the utmost importance. So, not only does that get mentioned in a cutscene, but also there's literally a talk convo telling you, like, hey, go get Forsetti, right? And yet, for some reason, people still say, like, getting Forsetti is this big hidden secret and on the level of the fucking Brave Axe. I've seen people list the Forsetti as being just as secret and hard to get as the fucking Brave Axe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The story spells out what you should be doing. Like, I'm sorry, if you don't get Forsetti, that is your fault. That is your fault. Why do you think Nisha, of all people, has a conversation with Erin is? Besides the loyal knight, I can't think of a connection. Yeah, I don't know. I think they wanted to give, like, a physical dad option to be one of the canon dads, and they didn't really have... They just didn't think beyond that, and they were like, we'll make it the Red Cav, because Alec has Sylvia, right? But I think Alec would make more sense, just because, like, Nihil... I think that they tried to have a conversation for every pairing, but they ran out of space. I disagree. I think that they had specific ones that they felt like would be the, like, potential canons. Which is why, for example, Tailtu gets conversations with both Claude and Azel. Both because they're, like, they're magical, but also because they have prior relationships with her, right? Does Nisha have any other pairing convos besides Erin? No, and Alec's only pairing convo, unless I'm misremembering, is Sylvia. He has one. Oh, does he? Damn. Fake fan. I'm revealing myself super fake fan. Like, so much fake fanning is going on right now. Can we Forsetti Lamia? Ha, what a clumsy mistake trying to fight me. Really? You think this is a fucking mistake? Adept? No adept. Sad. It's not like Lewyn is mortal anymore. I mean, he can still die. He's on a road, so his avoid's not gonna be, like, as overpowered as it could be. If Lewyn dies in any other chapter, he's just not mentioned. I don't think I've ever had him die in a previous chapter, so I don't know if that's true. But my instinct says probably not. Like, I imagine that, because Lewyn is the whole reason that they take him, that the Celestians take Sigurd in, right? I would imagine that they would say something, right? If technically yes, but it'll always happen even if Lewyn and Erin are both dead. Yeah, but I feel like that's like a fail case scenario, right? If Lewyn dies before talking to Sigurd in chapter 2, then it wouldn't really make sense. Sure, but then where does the story go from there, right? Remember, this is a SNES game. We're not having, like, super branching narrative moments. Oh, you chose the wrong foe. But yeah, you see what I mean? He's on a road. He only, like, they still 44 hit on him. And that's the bow. Well, I guess it's a killer bow. Imagine fighting someone with a legendary weapon and thinking you have a chance. I mean, I don't know. Lewyn's looking pretty fucking mortal right now. Alright, Erin, you can at least get one more Jav kill on the healer. I wish Mistletoe was busted. It weighs Ayra's down by a bit, so he's a hard time doubling in the late game. I mean, I still think Mistletoe is busted. I think Mistletoe's quite good. I cannot wait until we get to Ayra's. We can talk about him in unit review, but I think he's one of the better Gen 2 units, and I think he's, like, overlooked quite a bit. I don't know who I want to give these villages to be quite honest. I guess Edain makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like, Midir can collect gold for Edain. I think Edain makes sense. Edain and Claude, just as staffers. They're stationary, right? You know, there's a drawbridge on the other side of the Tova River. Yeah, it's under control of Duke Miles, too. If it's still drawn and you don't have the key, you're not getting across. Mind you, you have a thief's sticky fingers at your service. That might not be a problem. What's that? You got the drawbridge lowered? How'd you do that? Well, I used a thief's sticky fingers. I had defense plus Jamka be a guard on this castle. Yeah, I like using Brigid and Lex for this castle. Because Lex has triangle advantage and is really bulky, and Brigid can, like, just kill them. And you get her for free, so you don't have to, like, train someone up. But, yeah, I mean, you saw Midir, even an under-leveled Midir does pretty good, right? Like, what level is our Midir? Level 13 Midir did pretty good, right? So, like, I think it's a decent place to leave, especially because, like, if Midir isn't promoted, it's not like he can participate in the bottom of the map anyway. What happens if Dew wasn't here? So there is a workaround to the drawbridge. It's just a very slow walk through the mountains. Sigurd has to go, like, one tile at a time. And then you get pelted by blizzards all the time. It's really stupid. The throne is mine and mine alone. It is my birthright. Stand aside, loathsome gnats. There's a general with brave weapons? There is not. That is incorrect. I do think the drawbridge thing is pretty stupid game design. Because it is the only part of the campaign where you need a thief. Like, I think it's pretty bad design. But there is not a general with brave weapons. Let's not overplay it. Oh, sorry. The wind sword has become heavy. It is funny how the broken weapons weigh more, but it makes sense both from a gameplay perspective and also because, like, they're just trying to make it symbolize that it's, it makes it harder to wield now, right?
Oh, I attacked the wrong guy. Oh, no, is this... That is the right guy. Okay.
Pavai's once again showing you why it's an annoying skill, yeah. Lewyn, damn you. How dare you declare? How dare you murder Anad? Death is too good for the likes of you. What nerve. You die here and now, Lewyn. They're both racing to get their girlfriend staffers money. Prince Kurth's daughter, should Prince Kurth's daughter bear a son, that son would be the heir to Granville's throne. I dare say this makes Lord Arvis, husband to the prince, quite the influential figure. Why is a random isolated village in Celeste so concerned with the politics of, Granville? That's what I want to know. Do you care? They're helping Sigurd, so it makes sense they're worried about the politics. I guess. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. IRL, we care a lot about the British royal family. I mean, we shouldn't. I think that's also stupid. Come on. Fucking big shield. Oh, did it not break? Okay, we have 2 uses left. I think it's more important for us to get Edain staffs
and gold than Claude. Claude is just passing stuff down to Sed. So he already has Fortify, and Valkyrie's already repaired. So he doesn't have much else to get for Sed that, like, matters. So I think for the most part, Midir should be getting gold for Edain. Because Edain is going to want to buy stuff for, Lana. Hello, how are you? Claude's also passing down the power of abandoning his family. More Great Shield greatness. This is like one of the reasons why I hate this map. Like, I think this is the worst map in the... is it the worst map in the game? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's just like, it's really tedious, right? In addition to the Great Shield, which is like everywhere else as well, there's the tedious walk. Ugh, my dreams there. I think 2 is worse. 2 is probably the worst chapter in the game. The sinister powers of the dark god Loptis can be fought only with the glorious powers of Naga, a great god. Only Granville's House Valhalla, the heirs to the same time, inherit Naga's power. The Celeste royal family wields the power of wind, bestowed by the wind god Forseti. House Valthamur wields the power of fire, as bestowed by the fiery goddess Frasala. And Frege wields the power of thunder, bestowed by the thunder god Thora. Only a direct descendant can inherit the full breadth of the power of the gods, and they'll only be able to wield their family's divine heirlooms. However, if kin intersect, their offspring will reap mighty powers, and maybe even be able to wield the divine weapon themselves. You have to use a glitch, though. Needless to say, doing that is condemned and forbidden. Being a holy ancestry can bestow a number of powers onto you. Divine heirs can even wield the most advanced weapons with ease and have an easier time growing stronger. Of course, it's not every day you meet someone that's blessed with that sort of power. Magic is governed by a hierarchy of power, just like weapons. Fire magic bests wind, wind bests thunder, and thunder bests wind. But it's fucking not important, because you just use wind, it's the best one anyway. Dark and light magic have advantage over all the others. Think your strategies through with care.
Let me just make sure we got everything. Oh, Sigurd and Claude have a talk, right. Okay. It doesn't give us anything but lore, but, like, I'll show it off. I'm so sorry I dragged you into this mess as well, Father Claude. It's fine. If anything, I'm sorry my efforts to aid you simply weren't enough. I did return to Granville, and I was about to relate the truth to His Majesty, but Reptor interfered before I could do anything, and now I too am branded a traitor to the motherland. Ugh, I've had enough of sitting here and letting Reptor have his sorry way. I swear I've half a mind to storm straight into Granville and end this once and for all. No, you know better than to rely on brute force or to risk the common folk's safety. For now, Lord Sigurd, we must endure. But Father Claude, make no mistake, I feel your pain too, but this crisis' end lies in fate's hand. There's nothing any of us can do to save ourselves anymore. So this is where Claude goes after the golden deer. Wonder why he abandoned his wife. Sire, Queen Lana has arrived. Lord Sigurd, that was quite the fierce battle, wasn't it? Are you unharmed? Yeah, somehow I'm okay. I know I've asked so much of you already, Lord Sigurd, but would you and your army please station yourselves here at Zaxxon? Granville's Lord Lombard has already swept in with an immense army and conquered Lubeck Castle to our east. The people of Celeste are terrified that this will be a prelude to a full-scale war with Granville. Your Highness, I believe Lombard's army is only here for me. I've no desire to needlessly endanger you or your citizens after all you've done for us. My men are leaving. Now. I have a score to settle with Lombard. What recklessness! How could you possibly prevail like this? They're coming for me no matter what. If we remain here, then they'll just invade. We can't afford to waste time debating this. Is that so? How sad. Your Highness, thank you so much. You've given me the most wonderful year here, and you've done so much to put my mind at ease. My mother died when I was still very young, so as I grew up, I never knew the unconditional love of a mother. But thanks to you here in Celeste, I've come to know that very same warmth. You're like a second mommy to me now. Take care of yourself, Your Highness. I hope that someday, once all this is over, we'll have a chance to meet again. As do I, Lord Sigurd. Please stay vigilant out there, and keep yourself safe. From the bottom of my heart, I pray that you and Deirdre will soon be united. I had him call her mommy because I feel like their dialogue is, like, kind of weird early on. Where, like, she's obsessed with him and won't even, like, pay attention to Lewyn. So I've always thought she's just like, oh, your wife is missing? Well then, I'm single. The mom cuck arc is complete. Y'all, that's what we're fucking ending the stream on. That's the last thing, the mom cuck arc.